The next two clips are going to talk about a table of values and graphing. Now you have done this before. So first of all, we're going to look at a table of values, and you're not going to be listening to me, but from another teacher. So here it goes.
In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to create a table of values when given an equation. Now the question is, construct a table of values for the following linear relationship. What we're going to do is we're going to start by creating a table. We're going to identify our x variable and our y variable. Now, a linear relationship is made up of a bunch of points. When they ask us to construct a table of values, what we want to do is we want to find some points that are on the line. Now, we're going to start by just randomly picking some x values, and we're going to find the corresponding y values. Now, what I like to do is I like to get some negative x values and some positive x values. I'll start with -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Now to find the corresponding y values, all that's required is substitution. So I'm going to go to the side over here. Now here's the algebraic relationship between my x and y variables. If I want to figure out the corresponding y value for when x is -2, all I do is I let x equal -2 in the algebraic equation. And all that I'm doing here is I'm using substitution. And I'm replacing the x with what x is. And then you simplify. -2 times -2 is +4, and we have +3, giving us a value as 7. And so when x is -2, this algebraic relationship tells me that the corresponding y value is 7. So on my table of values, where x is -2, I place y equals 7.
Now, when he's showing you the work that he's doing on the right-hand side, you don't have to show this. What it really is rough work. So I'm going to keep watching it because he's actually showing you how that y value is being calculated.
And I'll do the same for the next value. So the algebraic equation is y equals -2x plus 3. And to find the corresponding y value when x is -1, I'm going to let x equal -1 in my algebraic equation. So again, I use substitution. -2 times -1 is +2, plus 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5. And so the corresponding y value when x is -1 is 5. Now, if they just ask to create a table of values and you have difficulty substituting and working with integers, then I would suggest that you do what I've done here on the side and write everything out and to make sure that you don't make any mistakes. However, if you're good at substituting and working with integers in your head, you can just simply perform all these operations as substitution in your head. For example, when x is 0, I'm going to replace the x with 0 here. In my head, I'm going to see 0 times -2 is 0, plus 3 gives me 3. Again, if I replace x with 1, -2 times 1 is -2, plus 3 is 1. And if I replace x with 2, -2 times 2 is -4, -4 plus 3 is -1. So there you have it. We created a table of values for that relationship y equals -2x plus 3.
The next clip is going to look at graphing, and this time we're looking at graphing with our table of values.
In this tutorial, I will show you how to graph a linear relation when given a table of values. So here's the question. Graph the following linear relation, y equals -2x plus 3, using the table of values. Now, a table of values basically shows us a bunch of points that fall on this linear relation. Now in a table of values, we can identify each of these values as a coordinate. For example, when x is negative 2, y is 7, we can rewrite it as the coordinate negative 2, 7. Similarly, when x is negative 1, y is 5. Now there's no need to write out all these values in the table of values as coordinates because we know that on the table of values these represent coordinates. So what we're going to do is going to create our axes. We're going to remember to fully label our axes. The x-axis, the y-axis, and we're going to include a scale. Now I look at my range of x values. I go from negative 2 to 2. I look at the range of my y values. Lowest is negative 1, highest is 7. So I'm going to go up to 10. Now I don't have to put numbers on every single tick mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just put it on every fifth. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you can continue doing so for all the axes. Now, once we've finished plotting or labeling our axes, what we're going to do is plot the points from the table of values. So the first one's at negative 2, 7. So on the x-axis, I go negative 2 and then up 7. And I plot a point. The next value is at negative 1, 5. So go on the x-axis, negative 1 and up 5. The next point would be at 0, 3. So I go x is 0 and up 3. 1, 2, 3. The next one's at 1 and 1. So I go over 1 and up 1. And you should start noticing that as we plot the points, the linear relation becomes clearer and clearer. Let's plot the last one. Now, it wanted us to graph the linear relation. And all we've done so far is graph these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Now, we learned from creating table of values that we could have started with any x values. And in fact, we can continue plotting more and more x values. And if we do so, we'd probably get more points that follow this pattern. Now, all we need is a couple of points to see the general trend. And there's no need to find more points because we know that basically a line is going to fit through all these points. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our line. We're going to make sure we put arrows on both ends. And we're going to create a line that passes through all the points. Now notice, we're not going to just stop at the end points. We're going to continue going because we know that this linear relation will continue on forever for bigger negative x values and for larger positive x values. Now what we always do once we finish graphing our line is we state the name of the line. It's y equals negative 2x plus 3. And there you have it. We have successfully graphed a linear relation given a table of values.
Now, although the example looked at a linear relationship, a straight line, it also works for nonlinear as well. Again, you make your table of values and you plot those points on the Cartesian plane. Now it's time for you to practice both of these skills. Good luck!